Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Elizabeth DeRoba. A man was arrested in Wilkes-Barre on Tuesday after police say he led officers on a chase with 2 small children in the vehicle. According to state police, the chase began on State Route 309 when troopers attempted to pull over Giovanni Lopez for traveling 84 miles per hour in a 55-mile-per-hour zone. Police say Lopez ignored the troopers and proceeded to lead them on a chase. During the chase, police say Lopez crashed into a car, stopped at a red light on South River Street, and hit a parked vehicle. Following the second crash, police were able to arrest Lopez, who had been driving with a woman and 2 small children in the vehicle. According to court documents, state police then executed a search warrant on the car and found marijuana gummies, a black ski mask, and a Glock 9mm handgun. Lopez has been charged with illegal possession of a firearm, flight to avoid apprehension, and reckless endangerment, among other charges. He is currently behind bars at the Luzerne County Correctional Facility without bail. The Hazleton City Police Department is warning residents to be wary of UPS scams. According to police, the public may receive text messages, emails, and other forms of electronic communication claiming to be sent from UPS. Police say the messages may claim that a package cannot be delivered or that a package needs to be picked up. The messages usually include a link to get more information. When in doubt, it is safest not to click the link, as the message may be a scam. If you receive a communication from UPS that seems suspicious, UPS officials say not to respond. For further information about protecting yourself from UPS scams, you can contact the UPS website at ups.com. May is Celiac Awareness Month, and Lehigh Valley Health Network is working to spread awareness in our local area. We spoke with Dr. Ahmed Hassan at Lehigh Valley Hospital Carbon to learn more about celiac disease.
Celiac disease is an autoimmune disease where your body makes antibodies against gliadin, which is found in certain foods, and it's also known as gluten intolerance. So this is in some cases a hereditary disease. People, it runs in families. In the United States, the prevalence is about 3% of the population.
Dr. Hassan has also started a support group for those suffering from the disease.
And, we will try to do these meetings every 2 months, and then if there are a lot more people, every month. And the important thing is that in that meeting, there will be a dietitian who has a family member who has celiac disease. So she's going to go over all your questions and help you out. There is going to be, and then we're going to be there, and there'll be nurses who have celiac disease so that they can help and you can learn from their other issues. We'll take questions. And this is a voluntary group. There's no cost to it. It's a free thing.
The first meeting of the support group will be Thursday, May 23rd at 4:00 p.m. The meeting will take place at the Educational Room in the Health Center next to Lehigh Valley Hospital Carbon in Lehighton. To learn more about the group, you can visit the Carbon County Celiac Support Group Facebook page. Coming up on WYLN News, several Luzerne County projects receive grant funding. Plus, Mamma Mia comes to Hazleton Area High School this weekend. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
My name is Zyla. Tomorrow's gonna be stormy.
Weather Kids is brought to you by Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton. Your health deserves a partner.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on Wyln News and Wyln social media posts, just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the Wyln News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today. If you're looking for an affordable pre-owned car or truck, Cheers Auto Sales has a great lineup of clean, dependable, and quality vehicles. Stop in at 610 North Broad Street in West Hazleton, 570-454-7229. Cheers is proud to be celebrating 70 years in business. Hey, did you know WYLN posts news stories and other bonus content on social media all week long? The Weather Kids, Fresh from the Farm, Everyday Heroes, Let's Talk Sports, Feel Good Friday, daily news stories, and more. Visit WYLNTV.com, Facebook, and YouTube to check it out. WYLN, the local leader on social media. We're your local network. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969.
WYLN TV 35 is expanding and is on the hunt for a dynamic salesperson to join our vibrant team. If you've got the passion and the drive, we want to hear from you. Send your resume to the email displayed on your screen. Don't miss this great opportunity.
Welcome back to WYLN News. Senator David Argel, Representative Dane Watrow, and Representative Mike Cabell announced on Tuesday that almost $1.7 million will soon be coming to southern Luzerne County. In a press release, the legislators say the funding was awarded through the Luzerne County local share account to fund community development projects in the area. The grant funding includes $100,000 for renovations to the Freeland Borough Building, over $200,000 for the purchase of rescue vehicles for the Hazleton City Fire Department, $100,000 for renovations to the Hazleton Active Adult Center, and $100,000 for further improvements to the Whitehaven Library and Heritage Visitors Center. The local share account funding is generated from casino gambling and is redistributed by the Commonwealth Financing Authority to improve communities in the surrounding areas. PennDOT has announced that all driver's license and photo centers will be closed Saturday, May 25th through Monday, May 27th in observance of the Memorial Day holiday. However, driver and vehicle online services will continue to be available 24 hours a day and 7 days a week at dmv.pa.gov. The online services include driver's license, photo ID and vehicle registration renewals, driver history services, changes of address, and driver exam scheduling. There are no additional fees for utilizing online services. If you plan to visit one of PennDOT's online messenger service centers, you're asked to call ahead for hours of operation during the holiday. The Hazleton area Cougar Players will be presenting Mamma Mia the Musical this weekend. The show will be performed on Friday, May 24th at 7 o'clock p.m., Saturday, May 25th at 7 o'clock p.m., and Sunday, May 26th at 2 o'clock p.m. in the Hazleton Area High School auditorium. Mamma Mia tells the story of a spirited young bride who secretly invites 3 men from her mother's past to her wedding in the hopes that one is her real father. Tickets are cash only and can be purchased at the door. The cost is $15 for adults and $10 for students. Coming up on Berwick's News Choice, Chris Fulmer leads us down the path through history with Ashland Part 3. Plus, we learn about bike safety on Wellness Wednesday. And stay right here on WYLN. We'll be right back.
You're invited to Johnson College's Career and Community Resources Fair at their Hazleton campus on Thursday, May 23rd from 11 to 2. Meet some of the region's top employers and discover what community resources are available to you and your family. Join us and take the next step towards a rewarding and successful career. Come explore Johnson College's hands-on training programs Thursday, May 23rd. This free event is open to the public at Johnson College's Hazleton campus in the Humboldt Industrial Park.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Watch PTN on WYLN.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Like and follow WYLN News on Facebook for the WYLN News Midday Update, posted daily between noon and 2 p.m., powered by Lehigh Valley Health Network. When it's serious, there's only one health network with seriously innovative health institutes. Lehigh Valley Health Network, your health deserves a partner.
Are you looking for a trustworthy publishing company to publish your book? One that understands the process and upholds Christian values in its business practices?
Introducing Covenant Books, an author-friendly publisher who shares your beliefs and wants to publish your story. Call us today to get a free author packet to help get you started.
We realize your book is unique, personal, and written with a higher purpose. That's the content we're looking for.
We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process with professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the industry.
Covenant distributes and sells your book online and in bookstores everywhere. We convert your book in ebook format and sell it on Amazon, Apple iTunes, and to these distributors. Our authors love us.
So if you've written a biography, a devotional, a memoir, self-help, or any genre, we can help. Be like these authors and get your book published and sold today.
Call right now for your free writer's guide.
1-800-215-3680.
When you see news happening in your neighborhood, call WYLN News at 570-459-1869 or email us at news@WYLNTV.com or send us a message on social media through Facebook. WYLN, we're your local network.
In the last decade of the 19th century, America was hit by the Panic of 1893, triggered in part when silver and railroad bubbles that had been building across the nation burst. Its effects would last through 1897, and in Pennsylvania, unemployment would ultimately reach 25% during the worst stretches. In the Ashland area, this would be acutely felt when the Philadelphia and Reading Railroad filed for bankruptcy and numerous mines closed. Left with no other choices, Ashlanders spread across the nation and state to look for better opportunities. By 1900, the town had lost roughly 2,500 residents. Many of them, however, remembered their days in the coal region well and pined to return someday. And a seed was planted in 1900 when several former residents of the town met at a state convention in Shamokin. Remembering the good times they'd had in Ashland in their younger years, they thought it would be a good idea to give former Ashland residents a reason to come back home. They subsequently formed the Ashland Boys Association, open to any former resident of the town regardless of ethnicity or social standing. Beginning the next few years, and continuing for decades to come, members of the ABA would return home to Ashland the Saturday before Labor Day for a grand celebration. In 1910, another facet of this homecoming was added, courtesy of the ABA's Philadelphia branch. When they arrived in town that year, they were greeted by an impromptu parade, including such participants as the local American Hose Company, Centralia Band, Knights of the Golden Eagle, and Washington Light Infantry. From this grand greeting grew the tradition of a mummers parade through town on the Saturday before Labor Day, which continued for many years even after the Ashland Boys Association's 1976 disbandment. Later, during the Great Depression, the ABA gave back to Ashland with a grand monument. The group's motto was, "Come on home," and for many members, home reminded them strongly of their mothers. Thus, at the group's 1933 reunion, it was proposed to build a memorial to honor all the town's mothers. Despite some members arguing for the ABA to give money for a library, instead the monument won out. $6,000 was raised by the organization for the monument, which ultimately be designed by Emil Seaburn and sculptor Julius Loester. For their inspiration, the artists used James McNeill Whistler's painting and arrangement in gray and black No. 1, popularly known as Whistler's Mother. Works Progress Administration funding gave the stonework for the statue, which was dedicated on September 4th, 1938 during the annual Labor Day festivities. Today, the Mothers Memorial still stands downtown, continuing its mission to honor mothers both in Ashland and around the world for all they do for their children. In the meantime, trolley lines reached into Ashland at the turn of the 20th century, as they did across much of the nation. The Schuylkill Traction Company in 1889 built a trolley line that stretched from Ashland to Monomoy City, with stops along the way in Girardville and Gilberton. Many trolley lines at the time would build an amusement park or picnic grove at the end of the line to entice riders to take a full trip. In Ashland, this led to the opening of Wyln Park in 1892. The park featured an open-air theater, dance hall, and skating rink, and proved quite popular for a time as a weekend getaway for area residents. Silent movies would be shown frequently at the park's theater, and vaudeville shows and local bands would also perform there. The end of trolley service in 1929, with buses replacing the Schuylkill Traction Company's trolleys, would also spell the end of Wyln Park. It was at this time, however, that another amusement complex rose to take its place. Harvey and Alice Beery had purchased land from Harvey's parents for farming around the beginning of the century. Buckhorn Creek flowed through the property, and it occurred to the Beerys that it could be dammed to make an impressive lake. In 1920, the family did so, and 3 years later, with the lake fully formed, the summer resort known as Beery's Grove opened to the public. For $10 admission, guests could swim in the Beery's Lake, as well as go boating, or fishing, or ice skating in the winter. Cabins sprang up along the lake as well. A dance hall and band shell would also appear at the lake, as did amusements such as a carousel, a shooting gallery, and a train ride. A horse riding academy would also grace the property, and ice harvesting would take place on the lake over the winters. The Beerys sold the property in 1957, and the owners changed the name to Mountain Valley Lake. Increased competition from nearby Knoebels Amusement Resort would lead to the lake's closure in 1974. After a decade trying to sell it, it was repurchased and repackaged as a private housing development, today known as the Moon Lake Association. Breweries had taken root throughout the Anthracite region in the late 1800s. Although Ashland would be comparatively late getting into the local beer game, it would be the home of the Schuylkill Home Brewing Company beginning in 1911. The brewery's name would be changed in 1915 to its more familiar title of the Ashland Brewing Company. Prohibition shut the brewery down in 1920. It would reopen in 1934, selling brands such as ABC Porter and Schuylkill Heim Beer before closing for good in 1940.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Tune in and see all the unique places to stay and things to do in the Pocono Mountains. Watch PTN on WYLN.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialist, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600. Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts, just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
Hi, welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I'm Lisa Marie, and I'm here with our medical director of our emergency department, Dr. Kira Weaver. Welcome, Dr. Weaver.
Thanks for having me.
So we are here, the summer's coming, we do a lot of fun things out there, but we need to talk about how to do these fun activities safely. So you can share this information with those of your loved ones who may love these types of activities, such as bicycling, ATV use. So Dr. Weaver, what are some of the things that we're seeing in the emergency department every summer that we could possibly avoid if we're doing the right things?
So I think one of the things when we think about summertime, that there's some different traumatic injuries that we see come into emergency department based on recreational activities. The biggest cohort of this area would be, things related to like bicycles, ATVs, dirt bikes, because of the fact that, you have people outside, maybe they're out in traffic with their bicycle, dirt bikes and ATVs, off-roading, and they all have this common thing where, helmet use is a big forefront of that, and wearing protective gear, obviously on the dirt bikes and ATV. So one thing we encourage, particularly, when we look at, anyone should be wearing a helmet, particularly on ATVs, bicycles, and dirt bikes. But we definitely, with parents, want to educate that you really need to make sure that your child's wearing, a helmet when participating in the events, that it fits properly, that they're wearing it properly, that it's not loose, that it would slide when they would fall off the bicycle, or, if they use ATVs or dirt bikes with older kids, that they're educated on how their safety equipment works, as well as supervision. Particularly with younger children, bicycles, they should, definitely need parental supervision, just because, if you're out in traffic, there's cars, there could be, other pedestrians, things like that, just to make sure that they're safe.
So what are we seeing? A concussion, something that is going to be a life-altering experience if they don't wear, they don't wear the proper headgear when using it. Not that you can avoid it, I'm sure, but I'm sure it helps a lot, doesn't it? By, maintaining that proper fitting helmet.
Yeah, so, helmets are, intended to protect the head from obtaining like fractures or bleeding to the brain, and then concussion, which is, it's, basically a constellation of symptoms that someone will have related to a head injury. So when patients come into the emergency department to be evaluated for concussion, it's really based off of, what they're presenting with as their symptoms. It's not really something based off of imaging. When we use imaging in the emergency department for concussion, one of the big things that we're looking for is to make sure there's not signs of like bleeding in the brain or a skull fracture, which are, more intense injuries to the brain, although concussions can be pretty severe, but those would necessitate, trauma care and admission, to the hospital. Sometimes if it's severe enough, could require surgery. Whereas a concussion, patients can often, unless they're very symptomatic with like dizziness or nausea, vomiting, severe headache, things like that, they can often go home and follow up, with, their doctor, go to a concussion clinic for the care and rehabilitation for their brain.
What are some of the signs and symptoms of a concussion?
So it kind of touched on it before, but I think, headache is a common one people, seem to notice. Sometimes you can have some dizziness, you feel a little nauseated. And then on top of it, you can have like some trouble focusing, like a brain fog. You could be sensitive to light. So, sometimes if patients have like history of migraines, they may be more sensitive and susceptible to concussion. Sometimes patients that have had previous concussions, they're at greater risk of having a subsequent one with head injury. So, obviously one insult to the brain, can make it easier, if you have another impact to kind of like bring forth the same presentation as previously or even worse.
So in regard to this, what else would you like our audience to take away?
So I think outside of, just remembering to, when you're out there enjoying these sports, to just make sure that you're at least wearing a helmet, Obviously ATVs, dirt bikes, you may want to be wearing protective eyewear, and then also protective jackets because of the speed that you're on these bikes. If you end up, having an accident where you're thrown from the bike or the bike rolls, it protects you somewhat, even though, with ATVs, the weight of those vehicles can cause some serious injuries. One of the big takeaways with helmets that, if you come to the emergency department, if you're able to bring the helmet with you, bring it with you so we could take a look at it to see, where impact might be. Sometimes that's helpful. But the biggest thing is if your helmet has an impact because you fell off of your bike or your ATV, is that helmet needs to be replaced. You shouldn't use that helmet again because you can't trust that helmet's going to sustain another impact. The integrity of that helmet might be compromised. So, even though they're expensive, they're meant to protect. And so, if you do have a significant impact, it is, it did its job, right? If you walk away from it. Absolutely. Or even if you do have a concussion, it may have protected you from something more serious, but it does need to be replaced after that.
Thank you for all this great information. We want our community members to be safe. We want them to have fun. And thank you so much for watching Wellness Wednesday.
You're watching WYLN TV 35.